Hey everybody!
Hello, humans of the world.
Welcome to This with Adrian and Melissa.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome aboard.
We're here.
So starting off this lovely conversation and our topic today. Well, before we get there, did you see the movie
I
that
saw
everybody's talking about?
everyone is talking about Girls Trip.
Yes.
It was good.
It was great.
It was really good. I mean, I didn't laugh as much as I wanted to laugh.
You didn't?
But I think it's because, like, some of the things are, like, expected. Like, I'm like, oh, I know someone like that. And it was like I wasn't shocked by their actions, but it was good.
Let me be clear. I was very shocked by Grapefruit.
Oh. Well. I never saw the Grapefruit situation. I was intrigued, but not surprised, but I was intrigued. I was like, oh, why did I think of this? You know?
I had never heard of the situation before, and I've heard of some things, but and she played that part so well.
So good. She was probably the star, I think. I mean, she wasn't the main character. What's her name? Tiffany
Haddish.
Yes, she's not the main character, but she was good.
Oh yeah, she
like really good, and you could tell that she was being herself too.
I want her as a friend. When I walked out of the movie, I was like, I want her as a friend.
Yeah, and so oddly enough, I went to go see the movie by myself at 11:15 a.m. on Sunday. And I was feeling some type of way about it because, you know, everyone was planning to go with, like, their girlfriends to watch it. And everyone was like, I'm going to wait to go see it with my girlfriends. And I'm like, I don't really have that many girlfriends. Most of my friends are guys. So I was, like, feeling, like, in my feelings about it. Because I'm like, gosh, I don't have female friends to go to the movies with. Like, you're that much of a loser, Melissa? Like, that's kind of dumb. But, like, midway, I'm like, gosh, thank God I don't have this many girlfriends. Like, okay, the drama, though, like...
I mean, there was only 4.
There was only 4 of them, and there was so much drama that I was just like, okay, now I know why all my friends are guys. Because I cannot deal with all of that frequently in my life.
I had the exact opposite experience that you had.
Which is why you're here.
Yes, I went with about 20 girls deep.
Oh, my gosh.
And let me tell you, throughout the entire movie, I think all of us were just playing like, okay, there was all of our personalities wrapped into these 4 women, right?
Mm.
And we could see a little bit of ourselves in each of them. Now, mind you, not all of us go and do staycations or vacations with each other because that just can't happen with certain personalities. Right. However, I had a moment sitting in a theater where I just sat there and was just so grateful that I had this many women that were in close proximity that I've had memories with, that I knew them well enough to know, like, in a moment, if I was in any type of situations, like, who was going to step up or who was going to do what. And it was a great experience, but it was also just a moment to, like, realize and be grateful for, like, the people that I had in my life. So next time you're coming with me
with the 30 girls.
Yes.
Sorry, no, I don't know. I think I'll pass.
No, it'll be great.
I'm male energy driven. I can't have too many women in one space around me for too long. I'm just like,
we'll introduce you bits and pieces.
Yeah, give me a little bit at a time. Spoon feed me. Spoon feed me.
Great. I'm glad. Well, I'm glad that we had kind of a different experience, but at the same time, like, yeah.
It was bomb anyway.
It was. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
So I want a sequel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In a different city, maybe like, I don't know, Paris or something. Italy.
Or Vegas.
But
I don't really want to do Vegas ever. Yeah. Anyways, I've done it a lot, so.
Yeah. Sure.
But, however, okay, so with that being said.
Yes.
I guess we should explain who we are and what this is.
What is this?
Well, I'll get to that. I think, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Sure. So, hello. I am Melissa Humans. I am from New York originally. I am first generation in this country. My background is Dominican Republic, the best island in the world. And, you know, I'm from Harlem, USA. I moved across the country to California, almost 6 years ago. I've been in LA specifically for a year, but previous to that, I was in the Bay Area in Oakland. So shout out to Oakland. I love Oakland. So I'm happy to be in LA though, because it's warmer here and the beaches are good enough, or warm enough rather, to get into them. So, I'm just here enjoying the California life. I'm never going back to New York, so do not ask me.
Okay.
And right now, I'm currently passionate about several things, but the thing that I'm yearning and I'm like living for these days is to save souls, not lives.
Big statement.
But souls. I wake up every morning and what picks me up, it's like even this, the podcast, just talking about this,
yep,
creating this avenue that I know is going to be just a road to something way bigger than we think at this moment. And I know that we're going to look back at this and we're going to just say, wow, that's how we started. So I'm super excited about this and passionate about saving all the humans of the world, all the souls. I don't care about your life because that's temporary, but I do care about your soul. So beware and be ready, people.
Love that. So that is Melissa.
That's Melissa.
Yes, a little powerhouse here, so beware. As for myself, I'm Adrienne. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon, home of the annual Naked Bike Ride.
The naked people in California, or just
the
West Coast. Yeah, I went to San Francisco and it was the same thing. It was like naked people the first week I arrived there. So
warm welcome.
I'm glad to know that Oregon is doing the same thing.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They are home of the Voodoo Donut Shop as well. So, there's the saying that says, keep Portland weird. And for those of you that know it, I'm sure that you're familiar. So we'll leave it on that. But I've been in California, Los Angeles specifically for a long time, over a decade, and it is now what I consider home. Gosh, as far as being passionate, I'm passionate about many things. At this point, it's helping people through traumas and helping myself.
Right. Let's start there. Right. We're all trying to help ourselves first.
Right. And I'm on my own spiritual journey, but there's something close to my heart as far as dance that I just will never, ever be able to let go of. So I at least do that at least once a day, whether that's in my home, whether it's in class, whether it's in my car, whatever.
In front of the mirror, like Absolutely. I do every morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Those following my Instagram, you guys know I have fun.
So yes, this is that's an introduction to me. And then some of you must be wondering, what is this?
What is this? So, as you guys know, it's just a simple word, right? 4 letters. And Webster has decided to give this word a definition. And the definition is this: defined as used to identify a specific person or thing close at hand or being indicated or experienced.
So essentially,
this
is being in your present moment.
Being in your present moment. And as we know, the word this is just way too deep to just be a word. So we decided to stretch it out, make it a statement, and make it an acronym. So it's T.H.I.S.
Yes.
This.
Yes. And how we came up with this, when Melissa and I were sitting down, we were talking about creating a podcast and all of these things that, when we met, we found out that we had a lot in common. Mm-hmm. And one of those things was to share some of the things that we've learned over our time and experience and that we're continuing to learn. And so when we were trying to come up with a name, a name, our mission statement, we were writing things out and sentences out. And what it came out to, I said, oh my goodness, the acronym is shit. And we were like, well, but we went from shit to this, literally.
Right.
And our definition of this is an acronym that states, accept your truth, heal through connection, inspire each other, and share with the world. That's where our acronym is this.
Right. So this is this. And we went from shit to this in a lot of ways, figuratively, physically, emotionally. We're still going through some shit as well, but we're getting to this and, learning as we go along, and we want to share with everybody. Why not? We could all grow together and learn from each other and get through this journey thing called life.
Yes. So, actually, the definition Webster definition brings us to our topic.
Right.
Because we have a list of topics, but today our topic is being present.
Being present.
Which is a challenge for a lot of people, but it's also a conversation that we seem to be having quite a bit. People trying really hard to be present. Mm-hmm. I know we all have stories about being present or lack thereof.
Right. The act of being present.
To you?
What does it mean to me? So one of the most frequent things I realized is every time I go back to New York, my home, and where my family is, or my friends, we all get together, specifically with my family, and I have 6 aunts, including my mom, and they all get together, and we're usually all around the living room, chatting up, catching up, but everyone has an iPhone in their hands. And not just like a regular 5, 4 iPhone. No, the new 7 Plus, they need they need to have like the upgraded iPhones at all times. I pay my mom's bill and her phone since she had a cell phone. And every time a new one comes out, she's calling me, hey Melissa, the new iPhone is out. I need a new phone. They need to keep up with technology. So is what they say.
That. I actually love that.
Yeah, so they're very advanced and modern.
Okay.
Not in age, but in life. And so, they get together and they're just trying to communicate with me and ask me how LA and California is doing, but then they continue to go on their Candy Crochet, which is what they say it with their accent.
How do they say?
The Candy Crochet. The Candy Crochet, which is Candy Crush for those who don't speak Spanglish or whatever that language is. It's Candy Crush. They're addicted to Candy Crush. They're on level 345, and they're all battling each other, and they spend hours talking about this stupid game that I don't know anything about because I don't have it. And
I actually used to love it, but I guess we be happy and thankful. It's just another distraction.
Oh my God, another distraction, and that's my point. So there's distraction in the communication. There's distraction in our apps. There's distraction in our society with media. We're constantly being distracted. We're told to think far ahead. So when you go into the stores, all you see is fall clothing. But literally, we've been in summer for, a month, if that? And then, our own traumas and our own mind keeps us in things in the past. And so I know for me, one of my biggest things or issues that I'm constantly working on is stopping the constant thoughts about the stuff that I've been through. I get flashes and thoughts, and then I get want to get sad, and then I have to snap myself out of it, and it's this whole process, and I have to talk to myself because I live by myself, so I do a lot of talking to myself. So I'm Melissa, calm down. Has nothing to do with now. Right now, you are in LA, you're in this beautiful apartment, be here, be in this moment. And so I know I'm constantly struggling with being in the present, and not struggling, but rather practicing things to be in the present.
So I have to go back to your story. How do you get your aunts and your mother to put the phone down, especially when you're coming home to visit?
So I have to do a lot of yelling. I literally sometimes I stand in the middle of the living room, my mom's living room, and just can you guys stop? Stop! I'm here. Hello, you guys want me to be here? You say you want me to visit so that you can be on your phone. So I guilt trip them a little bit.
Love it, just a little
bit. And then I just yell because they just
they respond.
And some of them respond, and then they get on their phone. They get off of it for a little bit, and they get back on it. I mean, it's just the addiction of the phone. The phone is our biggest enemies for everyone, I think. But you guys, I'm just you guys are way too grown to be having this issue. So now we know it's not a millennial issue, this whole thing. This is
across generations.
Across generations, across lives, across worlds, planets probably. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Right. So
it's exciting to go home.
Yes. So it's pretty exciting to go back home and be present with my family. As much as I can, at least.
And we see a lot. I mean, you see a lot of it. Just even when you go out to dinner or restaurants, I think that's when you see it most often is when you have a family and I've seen families, all of them being on their phones. The kids, the husband, the wife, or maybe you just see people a husband and wife or just friends out and everybody's on their phone.
For that, they could have ordered in and stayed at home, and everyone could have gone to their room and just ate in their own separate environments.
But you're trying to go out and have a moment, but you can't.
But you can't.
Yes. So,
being present.
So one of the things that we did a poll before this podcast, and one of our potential listeners, one of the questions was, how do I get the out of my head and really just stop thinking and overthinking? Mm-hmm. And I think that's a valid question that a lot of people have. How do I be present in the moment? How do I control my own mind and literally take in what's going on around me? And so one of the things I wanted to run down with people, and maybe you haven't thought about it, but maybe you think that something's missing, like you're a little bit off because you're, I don't know, in the rat race and you can't seem to catch up. Mm-hmm. One of those things is there's benefits of being present. Some of those things are less worrying, less stress, and improved creativity. A playfulness comes back to your life. You have a better appreciation for your world. And this is just in an article, so please understand this is not Adrian's.
Right. This is not Adrian's mantra.
Right. This is not mine. However, I have my own benefits of being present. But for the most part, these are the things that add to the quality of your life. And that's really what we're here to talk about in every episode is how do we enhance the quality of each other's lives. And so with that, these are the things that you want to improve on, and the challenges.
The challenges, I mean, are endless, only because we are humans, and we can make up a million excuses. 1,000,001.
And some of them are truly valid. I mean, life is busy and hectic, and I think of people that are, dealing with family. They're trying to raise their kids. They're trying to be a good spouse. They're trying to, advance in their career. They're also dealing with aging parents. And now we're telling them, like, be present. Can you just
you got bills to pay.
Right.
You have money to make. You don't have enough money to do all the things you want to do. I mean, there's just so much stuff.
There's so much.
In between you and presence.
Right. And our society is very much in that realm of okay, well, how are you planning for the future? I mean,
from the moment you're like 18 and you're about to graduate high school, it's like, decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's like, I'm 18 years old. I just figured out how to, like, I don't know, shower properly.
Figured out how to do laundry.
I just figured out how to, like, be. And now you want me to pick my lifetime career? That's freaking insane.
It's a lot.
A lot of pressure.
It's a lot. And that's why we have a lot of insurance in our life, because we're also fear-based. So, and that, I mean, adds stress, age, wrinkles. It deteriorates your physical abilities as well. So stress is nothing nice.
Stress is, like, probably the number one killer, I want to say. I mean, people don't talk about it often because it's not diagnosed specifically, right? But stress, I think it's, like, what brings cancers and tumors. I mean, I know for me, and it could be a later story, but I got severely sick from stress. Severely. And I had to have surgery and everything because of it. And I am now super conscious to do whatever it takes to be present, to be happy, to be okay no matter what's going on, because my health is all I got. I mean,
right. And it's part of the human experience. It's part of everything that we need to manage. And so one of those things, as far as the challenges go, I think is if we could talk about, like, what do you do for you? Like you said, you've had some experiences. Like, what do you do specifically to be in your present moment and to bring yourself back?
So right now I'm practicing pausing. Just, like, literally stopping everything. Just shutting it all down.
Like, when you say shutting it all down, like, is this, how many times a day do you do this? Is this only, like, after work? I mean, is this hermiting? What does this look like?
So now I'm getting to the point that it happens in increments during the day. And then sometimes that I literally choose a time and a day to do it. But literally just time where I just shut my mouth. I shut the things that I'm seeing. So TV goes off, music goes off. I'm just with me. And in that moment, I could do nothing. Like, I could just decide to lay on the couch. I could just decide to lay on my bed. I could decide to get in the bath and put on some candles. I like to romanticize myself sometimes.
There you go.
So I put on some candles, pour a glass of wine, and just sit. And in that sitting moment, I try to silence my thought, right? Because your thoughts are dangerous. Like, I feel like our brains are so powerful beyond our own understanding. So I try to just really shut down my thoughts. Just those things that pop up as soon as you're quiet and by yourself. What do you start doing? I don't know. I'm going to ask you. What do you start doing?
I mean, these days, sometimes I sing. I mean, sometimes whatever comes to me, like, so, yeah. And
so for me, I start making lists.
Okay.
I'm a list fanatic, is what I realize. I start like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I start doing lists, and then another list, and then on top of that list, I do another list, and I'm just like, okay, Melissa, like, this is getting out of hand.
I'm sure people can relate to you.
Yeah, I'm sure people do this all day, and maybe it's like part of the New York state of mind too, where it's like constantly moving, constantly going. So California has definitely helped me with this a lot, but I still do it. Still in bed. I lay in bed the night before every day, and I'm just like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then I wake up in the morning and I think about all the things I'm going to do for the day. And it's this constant list living life that is not good and it's not healthy. And so I have to set time. I have to set time to
Is it not
be
healthy?
silent.
I'm thinking, man, you probably accomplish so much in a day.
I do, but then sometimes my body, like, I listen to my body now. So sometimes I wake up with a list and my body's like, nope, you're not doing nothing today. You're actually going to lay here. And I'm just like, no, but I have stuff to do. And my body's like, no, actually, you're going to stay in bed. And I used to feel guilty about it. And now I'm just like, you know what? It's Saturday, Sunday, whatever. I'm staying in bed till whenever my body is okay with getting up.
Yeah.
And usually is when I have to pee. But
you're listening to your body.
Your body's to my body, and when she tells me to get up is when I need to pee, and then that's when I get up for the day. So, and sometimes I get up and pee and go back to the bed. So who knows? Right. But just listening to my body, not just my mind, listening to my heart, really connecting with all the other organs of our lives. Like, our mind controls so much that, and it's dangerous to begin with because we can't trust our minds sometimes. It like leads us to very weird and crazy situations, at least for me. So I try not to always listen to my mind. You know, I connect with my instincts, I connect with my heart, I connect with my body so that I can be silent and be still and listen to the gems. So tell me, talk to me. What are you doing?
I'm still stuck on our minds can be dangerous.
They're stuck on it. Yeah, I mean, we could have a whole topic about that.
We'll talk about it because I feel like our minds are definitely powerful. Definitely, for sure.
Super.
I mean, I think of the, and when I say powerful, I instantly think of the simple fact that you can think of an experience, but you could be sitting comfortably on a couch just like we are right now. But if we chose, we could close our eyes and we could think of the most traumatic experience that we have been through, and we'll have a physical reaction.
Like, it takes us directly there.
We will have a physical reaction. And so, yes, our minds are very powerful, but on the flip side, you can do that same thing and you can flip it to where you have had the most amazing, magical memory ever in your life experience. Or maybe you imagine something that you haven't experienced, but it's going to feel the best thing ever. Guess what? You're still going to have a physical reaction. Yeah. So
it's powerful. It's a blessing and a curse. Let's call it that.
I like that. I like that. But I think some of the things that help us control, that powerful mind of ours is learning how these tactics or rituals to be present. Right. For me, I know for myself, gratitude journaling has been kind of my saving grace of life, period. And it literally has been one of those moments where I wake up and I will say, in this very moment, what am I grateful for? And I'll list it out. And then throughout the day, when my powerful mind decides that it wants to take me to some other place that I don't want to be, I press pause, like you're mentioning, right? I just press pause. Even if I'm driving on a pullover, I'm going to get out my phone or my notepad and I'm going to start writing exactly what I'm grateful for. And let me just tell you, it changes that physical dynamic in your body. It saves you. At least it saved me. So I do that even today, multiple times a day, at least once in the morning. There's so many benefits to gratitude journaling, but I will say that really helps at least one aspect of your day to be in a present moment.
And at least once.
At least once. I mean, the other things that I do is I really try to pay attention to whomever I'm sitting in front of. And I definitely have had times in my life where I would be like on the phone and multitasking and doing so many things. But I think I've had enough experience that I really appreciate the human connection. So I genuinely want to know about you or whomever it is and whatever you have to say. Now, I value my time, so if I'm not interested in what you have to say, I'm not going to spend time with you, and that will be that. So
I hear that.
But, yeah.
So tell me, like, this is just a thought that just came to mind. Like, what do you think? Why do you think it's the reason why most people have a problem with or a hard time being present? Like, what do you think is that thing that keeps us away from here?
There's a couple things. I think in our society, we are constantly bombarded with advertisement that we're not good enough. So we will relive past situations to possibly justify that. And then try to fix it because we believe that we're going to feel better in the future with kind of this propaganda, just BS. So 2 things. If you're replaying anything in the past, number 1, it can't be changed. Stop doing that.
Right. I know that's
It's hard.
I feel like you're talking to me because that is so hard for me. I replay things, and it could be anything that triggers, like a song or something I could look at. It triggers some memory, and then it takes me all the way back there. And then now I'm in it. And thankfully these days, God must be really having my back lately because he's like, zoop, nope, hello, hi, we're here. Right? And he's like, brings me out of it. So like sometimes like I'm getting out of it quicker than I used to before.
It's a process.
So it's a process, but it's definitely something I've always struggled with.
And I would say that's the thing. It's not easy, but that's not an excuse. I will never say like, oh, you're off the hook because it's not easy.
Nothing
no, it's
in
a
life
process.
Is easy. Yeah.
It's a genuine process. And sometimes it's as easy as, I know people they work mad hours or they're invested in their work a lot, but it's necessary to take a break. And I would highly, highly, highly suggest, people like to, in America, I'll say, like, people very much like to think, okay, if I don't take a break, if I only take a 30-minute lunch, I'm working really hard, like, this is job security, they're going to recognize me. I beg to differ and just tell you, like, your health is so much more important than whatever corporation that you're working with. And 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes that you're entitled to in California, I'll just say that, your breaks are, take them. Take your vations. Take your lunch. When you step out, like, your 15 minutes, go outside. Yeah. I
take a walk every day.
I can't,
like, every day with my coworkers.
If you can, I would say, like, I think it's a great idea when you say press pause. If you could press pause while you take a walk outside and just, I don't know, smell the air, feel the sun on your skin, like, hear a car that drives by and the sound of the motor, whatever it is in that very present moment, like, hear the nuts that crunch under your feet as you walk.
Connect.
That's that. There's something about that alleviates stress. There's something about that just takes you and puts you in that very moment. And
and brings you back.
It brings you back, but it's also, it's good for your health. It's good for your mentality. It's good for your overall well-being, and you deserve that. So at least these are the things that I tell myself. So I feel like I should share that with the rest of the world because I definitely have to tell myself that a lot.
And for me, I also think a lot about like those inner things that keep us distracted. Yeah. Like I feel like most people have a control issue, and we want to control every aspect of our lives. So
who? What are you talking about? Control?
Exactly. What? So let's talk about what you guys don't really want to talk about. Let's talk about the fact that people have severe control issues, that people create a lot of their own chaos to feel distracted because you want to make yourself feel like you're doing really big things, but you probably are not.
What kind of chaos are you talking about, Melissa?
Just chaos. People love the freaking drama. They just want to be dramatic about every little thing so that their lives could feel full. And
or maybe have importance.
Or something. But there's a lot of psychological stuff that I think as humans we create on ourselves or we put on ourselves. And a lot of it has to do with overthinking, overanalyzing, insecurities, control issues, bringing our own drama because we want to fill in something. So I think a lot of pressing pause doesn't always have to do with the physical things that we see or do or what we're actually actioning. Rather, it has a lot to do with our mind, what we are thinking, what we are feeling, and all these internal things that we bring out in our actions in a lot of ways. And so I feel like we have to start within. Most things come from within. So whatever that is, I mean, I'm not saying you have to sit around and like be a yogi and like meditate all day, right? Because that's not realistic. But you have to set some time to deal with your crap. Whatever crap you have inside, it's time to start clearing that up. And this is what this is here to do.
How would that help anybody be present?
Well, clearing all of that up, if you clear all that stuff up that keeps you like going and or the things that you're avoiding, right? Once you clear all of that up, then silence is easy.
I beg to differ though.
Really?
Silence is tough, period. Silence is tough, period.
It's tough.
I would say that.
It's definitely tough. But with the crowdiness, I feel like it's...
Some people get it, or some people are used to it. So, you know, it depends. It depends, you know, there's a familiarity and chaos for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there's going to be, I mean, unless your father was a yoga or a yogi master, right? And if you're brought up in a multiple examples of
culture,
of environments, you know, there's going to be a certain level of chaos that you're just comfortable with. It's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And we all go back to what's familiar. I mean, it's just, it's a hard cycle to break. But I would say, you know, I think we've given a couple examples of what it's like to be in a present mode. And it's necessary, but I don't think I think putting yourself first, your well-being first is one thing. And once at the end of the day, we have to make a decision. So at the end of the day, what it all comes down to is everybody has, let's be clear, like we're all connected, so we all have shit in our past. Like we could sit there and dwell on it and then be sad, but understand that is just torturing ourselves voluntarily. And I don't know about you, but for me, like I'm done. I signed off on that. I'm done. Like I'm good.
I'm over it too.
Right. So making an actual decision, just decide, period. So you make a decision, like I'm not gonna work myself into a frenzy for no damn reason when you know that it's just your mind. So awareness, just being more aware of yourself and observing, you know, the things that are around you and the people that you have around you, and understanding that you have a quality of life that you've created. And if you don't like it, that is just the contrast for you to figure out what it is that you do want and focus on it. That's it.
If you're aware of it, then you can decide to do something different.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it. There was one girlfriend, and we were talking, and she said something about, well, I feel like there's this learning lesson, and I just keep replaying. She was breaking up with a boyfriend who, you know, a good man, but they just weren't compatible anymore, right?
Right.
And there had been some things that had happened in their relationship, hence that they were breaking up. And so she was like, you know, I just feel like there's a learning lesson. And I was like, and I would say this to anybody, but, you know, us in general, you're not dumb. So stop replaying your shit. Like, you replay it for the intended purpose to find your contrast. Find it, figure out what the hell you want, write that shit down, meditate, focus, attach feeling to it, like marinate in it. Because everything that's past, that creates worry, that creates stress, that helps to create illness, all of those things that take away from your well-being. And we're talking about being present. That's part of your well-being. So figure out what it is that you want. That cleans out your garbage. Be present with the people that you are, like that you're in front of. Understand and appreciate your life that you've created. You have quality people in your life.
But the fact that she's even noticing that there's a lesson within the cycle that she's in is big enough, right? Because our hardest things to do is look ourselves in the mirror. Like really look at ourselves in the mirror and really point out the things that we are not making the best decisions about. So, you know, it's ugly. Sometimes it's really ugly. So the fact that she's doing that is big. Now it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I think that was a while ago. She's
better.
Doing amazing.
Oh, good for her.
So I mean,
good for her. Victory story.
But yes, you just don't want to. You don't want to spiral yourself. into negativity. At the same time, you don't want to sit there and worry so much about the future because the future is going to happen. Speaking of that, there's times in your lives where everybody asks you, like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan?
I hate that. I
don't mind it anymore, but before it used to give me a lot of anxiety. Like, what's my 5-year plan? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't even commit to, like, a year of something, whatever. But every time that I attempted to do, whether it was for work purposes or personal purposes, guess what? I never even made it to 5 years because some amazing opportunity came up, knocked me off sideways, detoured me in a way that, like, and I sit there and look at some of these, like, plans that I had, again, maybe they were mandatory for work, or maybe I was trying to, better myself in some way. And those 5-year plans never came to fruition, but my life is so enriched just by the detours and deviations that I had taken. So I am not opposed to a 5-year plan because sometimes it's great just to have a little bit of guidance. But
goals.
Yeah, goals all day long.
Yeah.
Listen, like, I'm
weekly
all for
ones, daily ones.
Yeah, all for it. Just that 5-year plan just killed me personally. But yeah, don't worry. That's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all innately know what we want to do. You know what you want. You know what brings you joy. You know what you're good at.
This is scary.
It is scary. It's scary.
It's freaking scary.
It's scary to have world success. When you put it in those terms, when you think outside of just, this my little universe platform, and you have a greater purpose, it can be scary. But guess what? Like,
but especially because we're tied into the society idea of what success is as well. So, like you said, the whole 5-year plan thing, you usually get that question when you're graduating college and, when you start these jobs and these companies. I mean, I actually just changed my answer this last couple of interviews that I went to.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so important for me to make that change because as soon as I changed the answer to that question, my perspective about the job changed. So I'll tell you really quickly. Every time I get the question, I usually just say, I want to manage a team. I want to grow with the company. I want to learn all these great things and move from department to department and get a wide grade experience, right? This time, and it came very innately, like I didn't plan it or anything. I got the question and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not into like the conventional way of like growth anymore. And they're like, huh? Because people like get intrigued really quickly. And they're like, he's like, huh? Like, what do you mean? And I'm just like, I know that most people would answer that question and say, oh, I want to be a manager and then director and then CEO of this company. Actually, no, I don't see my life in a lateral way anymore. It's not about reaching the top of the stairs anymore. To me, my journey is about experience. How much can I learn? How much can I grow? How many people can I learn from? How much knowledge I can obtain about everything.
Yeah.
Not just the actual job, but the people I'm meeting, the person who's being my quote unquote supervisor. Like, I want to know how great I can be from this experience. This is an experience. This is a time in my life. This is not my life. This company is not my life. I'm signing a contract and saying I will work here until I decide that I'm not.
Yeah, because your goals are outside of the company.
Way outside of the company. And I mean, it's crazy to see this person now because I have always been like the ambitious person. Like I graduated high school and I knew what I was going to study. I knew where I was going to work, and I accomplished all these things. My 5-year
plan.
Forget the 5-year. I had the 10-year plan. I did everything I wanted to do. I worked in all the companies I said I wanted to work in. I did all these things, and then after I checked all of them off, I was like, okay, so what do I got?
Yeah.
That's
something.
My resume is impeccable, but then what? Like, does that feed me? Do I feel greater being that person? Like, no. It was experiences. The experiences, the journey is what was great, and the detours, the things I didn't expect to do that weren't on my list. I did not in a million years expect to move across the country. I'll tell you that. And that was what made who I am now and who I'm becoming is just keeping focused out of the 5-year plan. I set my goals still. I set my own expectations, but they're not surrounded on a time frame. They're not surrounded on an idea of society, of what's going to look good on my resume, and, like, all these good, like, recommendations from people. Like, I don't care about that anymore.
Well, because you already achieved it. So it sounds like...
Well, not really, because there was a lot more that was on it. It's just when I got detoured, I realized, wait a second, this is not feeding you.
Yeah. Like, it sounds like you have, like, a little bit of the best of both worlds. Both worlds. And the only reason I say that is because you had plans and these goals that you accomplished, right? Mm-hmm. So some people can't say that. But you've had the success, right? Mm-hmm. But in your...
Or my terms of the success.
Right. You met your expectations. Which at the end of the day, when you say your expectations, it's better than somebody else putting expectations on you, right?
Right.
And whether those were yours or not, but you had met and exceeded, and then you actually reflected with a positive intention. So you're saying, hey, even my detours were good for me.
Right.
Because that's detours, what I keep hearing is like, oh, girl, like you have actually done some great things, you success, but if you're looking back with a positive intention.
Yes and no, because the detours, like, for a long time, because I was such a planner and such a goal-oriented person with, like, a plan, those detours hit me hard. I mean, they were failures. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, what is going on with you, Melissa? You always have a plan. What do you mean you're unemployed for 10 months? What do you mean you're quitting your job and leaving your beautiful apartment in Harlem and moving across the country? Like, I was sitting there and talking to God, like, what do you have me doing, dude? Because this is insane, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? He's like, yeah, you're moving across the country, you're quitting your job. I'm like, what do you mean? I worked so hard to be part of this company and part of this job. I've been here for 5 years. I've done all these great things. Like, I have a plan. And he's like, I don't care about your plan. You're moving across the country. Yeah. So in the detours, it, like, broke me down. But I think it broke those ideas down. It broke those thought process down. It broke this thing I created success to be, or me to be, or my life to be. So I could be rebuilt into whatever it is I'm becoming. I haven't defined that yet. But whatever this is, whatever this is still evolving, and it's going to be great. And I know finally I feel at peace with where I am. I don't feel this anxiety like, oh, what are my bosses going to say about me? Or, you know, what is my review going to be this week? Or, you know, am I going to get a raise that I want? And all these goals that were dependent on other people's decisions. Right. Anyway, it's a little bit of a detour on being present, but
it's really valid. I think, because I think people sometimes part of their stress is being concerned with what other people think. If they are meeting their own terms of success, that's a worry, that's a concern, it's a stress, and maybe they're, you know, they don't know how. They're like, wait, I need to make that next level at my job so that I can make more money, so that I can provide more for my family. Right. I need to survival. Mm-hmm. You know, there's stress and worry that comes with that, because whether it's survival or living up to, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever it is, you know, there's a lot. There's especially, you know, we live in an area that is, well, it's Los Angeles, so it's a superficial city. We are the entertainment capital of the world. So you have a lot of people that are chasing dreams that but are also trying to make it and have that concern. But at the end of the day, if you can take a moment, I think, and really just look within and understand that nothing, I mean, your life is by design, and nothing is how would you, nothing is, first of all, nothing is permanent. As long as you're breathing, no feeling is permanent. So
your life is temporary. Your body is temporary.
And if you think about being present, so there's this saying, like, where was the man's feet when he jumped off the bridge?
Attached to the body. This is one of those questions.
Right. But that was like, some people would say, oh, his feet were on the bridge, or his feet were in the air, or you're like, no, but that it's like in that moment. So if you think about, like, your present moment is always ever evolving. It's just temporary. Just have a minute to recognize it.
And be okay with change. I think that also goes into a deeper conversation we can get into later on, but people are so afraid of change. I mean, change makes us so uncomfortable, including me, us. I mean, all humans, because I am human. I talk about humans like it's a separate thing because sometimes that could be an alien, but I mean like me too. We are so afraid of change and changing, even when you've done it a million times. I mean, I moved 3 times in a year since I've been here in LA. I moved 45 times in my lifetime, and still to this day, like the act of moving or the act of change makes me so nervous and so scared. I mean, I'm doing things despite of my fear, but doesn't mean that my fear is removed. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And so, yeah, change is probably another huge topic we need to touch because it definitely keeps us away from the present.
Absolutely.
It keeps us with anxiety and all types of feelings and emotions.
And if you actually think about being present, like in the very present moment, it is change. Being present is change. It's constantly. This second is different from the last. Everything about it.
That's the
how you breathe, like how you move. There's no second in your life that is the same.
That just gave me butterflies.
So at the end of the day, when you break it down in such simple terms, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be worried about. And I think we all have, if you all are listening to this podcast right now, you've made it this far. Right. And I guess, you and I have made it this far.
Right.
Through trials and tribulations and
craziness
and moments of amazing, unbelievable, love and perfect,
magical moments
that you can't even put into words. So all of that is just part of the experience. But just know, like, change is inevitable, but it happens every second of your life. You just haven't pressed pause.
You haven't paused enough to notice it.
Ooh, that's deep. That's it. Ooh, that gave me chills. Chills. We just gotta break it down sometimes. Sometimes I gotta break it down for myself.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one. That magic came out good.
Hello.
Yes, Juju.
I'm hoping that that's been good. I feel like we should being in present, and we should have a challenge.
The challenge. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you guys a little bit about this movement that I started. So over probably more like 7 years ago, we were at dinner. I think it was my sister's birthday, and it was family and a couple of her friends, and we were eating, and of course everyone was on their phone. And so we challenged ourselves, let's stack our phones in the middle of the table and just refrain from looking at our phones, touching our phones for the rest of the dinner. We ordered appetizers. I mean, the appetizers hadn't even come before we were like, people were shaking. I mean, every time we looked at the stack of phones, then the lights were going out. Everyone's like, oh my God, what about that's a message or a text or a call? People were freaking out. Phones were ringing and people were freaking out about it. And I don't know, I guess that moment became apparent to me that, one, there's a disconnect with ourselves and each other, that we're so attached to the phone that we can't even be present with ourselves in a social environment. We're celebrating something, right? It was a good thing. Mm-hmm. But yet it was hard for us to be detached, right? And I mean, I love the digital world. I work in digital. I love digital. I've been all about digital and technology, but I love human interaction. Yeah. I think that human interaction is magical. I mean, it's what we were meant here to do. No one is meant to be alone. No one is meant to be part of this world as individuals specifically. We're all supposed to help each other. We're all supposed to connect with each other. We're all meant to be, if we were meant to be alone, we would have been in another planet by ourselves because there's a million planets, right? So anyway, we started this whole movement. It kind of we started throwing ideas about what this would be called. We called it social stack. So it's a social stack movement.
I love it.
I'm going to start, kind of posting things about it. So the challenge is, I kind of want to do a little experiment with everyone. If the next time you're in a social environment after this podcast, at any moment, with friends, family, coworkers, wherever, challenge everyone to stack their phones in the middle of the table. Turn them face up, just so that, you could get a little tempted sometimes. And just be...
You say face up or face down?
Face up. That way you can see the lights, you can see, and the only reason why I'm saying that, just because that's what happens with us. Like, some phones were turned down, some phones were turned up, but the lighting, you'll see people's reactions based on whether they see their phone light up or are they getting a message.
Isn't that going to take away from being the present moment?
Yes, but it's the awareness. I think the first experiment, it's awareness of what is that who gets more ticked off the most? Who is more connected with their phone? Like it becomes like a fun thing. Yeah, it's like a social experiment, right? So try it out. Give us your feedback. We're gonna be posting our podcast in several places. Yes, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, everywhere. So throw us your comments, your stories. We'd love to hear it. I'm gonna start a social stack movement. I have the logo being prepped right now. So things will be moving around. I kind of just want to see how this works and see how we could spread this out a little bit and just have a moment of connecting with other humans. Let's just have connectiveness with our phones for literally just a dinner, just a social gathering, just a moment. Literally, I'm not saying let's do this for an hour or 2 hours, a moment of conversation. Let's remove the phone. On a date, wherever. So try it.
I love it.
And tell us all about it. I'd love to hear it.
That would be great. I think, so I'm actually going to do that. I think I'll be tagging a photo in somewhere.
Yes. Oh, and tag your phones. Yes. Like, maybe that's what we could do. Post it. Post a picture of it. And hashtag it, social stack. And let's see what we can get going. Maybe we could start
and ThisTru.
Social stack and ThisTru.
Yeah.
Let's stack both. And then I guess pictures going, and we can make this like a social. It'll be social too, but remember, take the picture and then put the phone on the stack. Don't take the picture with the phone and then now keep your phone. That defeats the purpose, right? So we want to be in the present. So take a quick photo after you stack it, and then stack that last one where you took the picture back on the stack.
Love it.
And then share it later after you have your moments.
Yes.
And we can talk about it
after you get your phones back.
After you get your phone back and you're released from being connected, which I know everyone hates. Send it to us and share with us. We'll love to chat about it and see where this goes.
I would love to. We would love to. And I would also like to add to a challenge. You know what? For you that want to be more present and actually kind of turn within. There's a couple things. I know there's some insomniacs out there present. But instead of, and it's something that I have learned to do, instead of going on Facebook or Instagram or whatnot, I mean, unless it's going to ThisTru, go ahead and sit down for 5 minutes or take a moment and write out what you're grateful for. Start your own gratitude journaling. If it means that you have to get up 2 minutes earlier, yes, set the alarm 2 minutes earlier.
Oof.
I know.
That's a hard one.
And sometimes, you know what, there's going to be days where you're just like, I'm just grateful because I can breathe and I have the use of my hands.
Because you woke up.
Because I woke up, my eyeballs opened, and I'm alive. You're going to have days like that, and that's okay. But you're going to have days that are like, you know what, my life is amazing, and you need to remember those. Document that down because it's important. And it also changes the way you view the rest of your day. You're looking for things to be grateful for. I guarantee. You'll start listening to people a little bit more. You'll start being more present. It's natural. So I would say that on top of our social stack challenge, I just challenge you on a personal level to start gratitude journaling. Why not?
Why? You got pen and paper, right?
You got pen and paper. You got it.
Or your phone.
iPhone.
Right. On your notes.
Right? Yeah, on your notes.
On your notes app.
All that. So just do it.
Yeah. Snooze the alarm and do it in your 3 minute snooze.
There you go.
That's a good one.
There you go. I like it. So we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, this is so much fun.
I'm really excited.
So excited.
I'm so excited. I'm really glad that we're doing this with each other.
Yes.
You're a blast.
You too.
And I'm looking forward to the next topic on ThisTru.
Yes, and where you can find us.
You can email us at ThisTru, which is THISTRU @gmail.com. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, which is T.H.I.S.True.
So it's an acronym, people. There's periods in there.
And True is all lowercase TRU. Our Instagram is the same. Capital T.H.I.S.True.
True. We're going to have a good rhyme for this.
We are. You just wait, kids. You just wait. And we are And then you can also find us on SoundCloud.
Yes, SoundCloud, same is this, T.H.I.S, space, TRU, TRU. And, make sure you listen, you watch. We're going to be posting a lot more videos, maybe do some live chatting. And
we'll be having interviews.
Yes.
So they're coming. If you're interested in being an interviewee, if you have something to talk about that you're passionate about, please email us.
Yes.
If you have something that you want to hear, that you want to inquire about, please email us again at ThisTru@gmail.com. THISTRU.
No E. Take that E out.
Take it out. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Laters.